Thank you for joining me on the journey. This is Completed Christianity. Welcome back. Another episode of Being Complete. And today is fourth day, Paganized Words. And today, the first of our Paganized Words. So, this first Paganized word is going to be the word God. Our English word God was a word that was never known in the first century. And this is probably seems like it would be pretty heretical to most people, but there's a problem with this word in the English. And this word in the English was never known in the first century. The apostles never knew about it. The word that they used was different from this word. The word theos, if it when it was written in Greek in different letters that were written in Greek, this word theos, it has a different understanding and different history than what this word does. So let's take a look. So Exodus 23:13, and in all that I have said to you, take heed and make no mention of the name of other mighty ones, and let it not be heard from your mouth. So this is going to be one of our foundational scriptures for this series. So if you have a name or a word that's derived of a name of another mighty one, a false idol, pagan idol, that is incorporated into a word, then that word is not a word that we should use for our Creator, for the Father. It's not a word that we should use in worship and adoration to Him. So these things, according to this verse, should be avoided. Now, 1 Thessalonians 5:32, abstain from all appearance of evil. So this is other foundational verse for this series. So make no mention of other idols, make no mention of idols, of the names of those idols, make no mention of the names of those idols. Abstain from all appearance of evil, not abstain from all evil, but does it appear to be evil? Well, let's shy away from that, because when you say, oh well, it's not that bad, or oh well, it's ridiculous to say that these words are bad, it's word policing, or whatever you want to say. As we dealt with in our introductory video, if you didn't see that, go back, watch the introductory video to this series. And so, if it appears to be evil, then we should avoid it. So, because how set apart is to set apart. There is no to set apart. But whenever you start bringing in these other things, oh, well, it's not that bad, it creates a slippery slope, which is how we've got to where we are today in what we call modern church. That word in itself should not even be in our vocabulary. But the modern state of believers today, they said, oh, this is okay, or oh, that's okay, or oh, that's done away with, and we remove the standard, and it just creates this slippery slope. But if we abstained from all appearance of evil, then we would not fall into this. Isaiah 65:11, but you are those who forsake Yahweh, who forget my set-apart mountain, who prepare a table for God, and who fill a drink offering for Mani. So, a lot of people are first going to say, oh, cry foul, you said God, it says Gad. Well, let's take a look at it here. So this is the word in the Hebrew, and it's Gimel Dalet, and the pronunciation, phonetic, given right here, is God. And so, the etymology, we'll probably look at that later in another video, but the etymology of the word in the English, God, it says it's of uncertain origin. So nobody really knows where it comes from. This is where it comes from. It transcended the cultures and stuff, just like the Babylonian deities. When Yah confused the languages, it spread out in all these different cultures and different names for the same idols. So as we move move through this, then here the definition that's going to give for us is fortune. So this is what this word actually means. It means fortune. But it has the big long hyphen here, and it says troop. Well, that's how it's been translated. Well, it doesn't make any sense that fortune troop. So this word does not mean troop, although that's the way it was translated in the KJV and a lot of modern English. Translations actually will do a better job and say fortune, and then some may even just say the GAD. But this fortune here is actually what it means. It means fortune. And we continue on. We have these two instances of this being used, and it's the verse we read, plus it says, and Leah said, a troop comes, and she called his name God. So this is when she gave birth to her baby, and it says she said a troop comes. Well, that's based on an earlier verse in this chapter in Genesis, and it's been said, oh well, that's what this word must mean in this context or whatever, and they said it means troop. But does it make more sense that she said a troop comes, or when she had a child, or that fortune comes? And it meant that the fortune had come to her because she gave birth to this child. So as this word is taken down the line, somehow this word God becomes used as the name of a deity, which is what we see here in the Isaiah 65:11, and it's said that you prepare a table for, and it says here that troop in the King James, but that you prepare a table for God. That's the Hebrew, and then it's used in the sense of a deity here, and because you also, it goes on and says that or furnish a drink offering for many, or here it says a number. And so this has been translated in a way to lead the reader away from the actual meanings behind this, that is actually talking about deities, because that's who you pour out a drink offering for. It's an offering. You make an offering to some deity. So here you have three instances where this is the King James, and others will separate this and make it Baal God. And so, and here it just says Baal God is one word, but this is a reference to a place, a city, and this was a common thing in pagan lands, and they did this what the northern tribes do, where they'd take names of deities they worshipped and call places by those names, whether it's a place or city. And so here it's talking about a place called Baal God. And so Baal is the name from the Babylonian deity of Nimrod, who became Baal, which means the Lord. So Nimrod became the Lord, and so then this read out would be translated would be the Lord God, Baal God, the Lord God, or it would be the Lord of Fortune. And so this is what it's referencing there too. So it's no wonder it wasn't translated, because it wouldn't make sense, and it would look funny with it saying the Lord of Fortune or the Lord God. So here we have from the Encyclopedia Britannica, and that even where the earlier neuter form is still kept, as in Gothic and Old Norwegian, the construction is masculine. God is a word common to all Teutonic languages. In Gothic, it is Guth. In Dutch has the same form as English. Danish and Swedish have good. German, Gott. According to the New English Dictionary, the original may be found in two Aryan roots, both of them the form of Gehu, one which means to invoke, the other to pour. The last is used in sacrificial offerings. The word would thus mean the object either of religious invocation or of religious worship by sacrifice. It has also been suggested that the word might mean a molten image from the sense of pour. And so this comes in with several different things where this word God is connected back to an idol, and it's connected back to a graven idol, graven image, or molten image, is the etymology of where we get this word God. It is much more difficult to trace the Teutonic word back to its origin. So, again, it even says in the etymologies that this word is of uncertain origin, but it's the same word. It's been passed down from culture to culture and time period to time period. Same word as the GAD and the deity behind it, the god of fortune, which is what most modern people, modernist Christianity and stuff, that's the way they treat what they call the Father. They treat him as a spiritual ATM machine that we're just going to get good fortune, get good fortune, get good fortune, get good fortune. And so it's much more difficult to trace back the Teutonic word God back to its origin. There is no doubt that the Supreme Being has always been called this name in all German tongues. We can only say, therefore, that God was probably an old Teutonic word used long before the introduction of Christianity to signify either the one Supreme Being or gods in general. Indeed, we find that in the Old Norse, God in the neuter means a grave image, an idol. So question. Is this English word really good enough for your adoration and worship to the Creator of the Mighty One of Israel? Psalm 89:34, my covenant I will not break nor alter the word that has gone out of my lips. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Comment down below. Comments of opposition are welcome. Just don't say anything dumb like we're not under the law. We're under grace because you've been taught to use that verse outside of the bounds of its intended context. Subscribe now. Smash that subscribe button and ring that bell so that you get notifications of all future videos.